Hello everyone, I'm Max, and today I'm here to maximize your fear. Brand new Bigfoot footage that's shocking the world. Today we take a look at new Bigfoot footage and sightings coming from Georgia, Idaho, and many other places with very convincing evidence. From HD Sasquatch trail camera videos to Bigfoot hunting clips and so much more. Also stay tuned for a special and crazy nature clip at the end of this video. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. So grab your I Found Bigfoot coffee mugs and allow your fear to be maximized as we recap the best Bigfoot clips of all time. Today I'm bringing you only the best new Bigfoot footage, and this clip is brand new. It just came out on October 12th, 2025. A man was walking through a small forest in Idaho on this chilly evening. The sun was just setting and it was just starting to get dark. This is when he spotted two upright figures in the distance, a small one and a big one. After watching the supposed creatures walk by for a few seconds, he got out his phone and began to record. He caught this quick clip, this pretty up close and well filmed quick clip. The video was captioned, "Bigfoot and Baby Seen in Idaho." The creatures slowly make their way through the clearing with human-like gaits. From what we can see, the creatures look rather realistic, not like people in costumes. The fur appears connected to their body structures. Now, every so often, people venturing deep into remote forests claim to see not just one of these massive hairy figures, but two or even more, appearing to move together like a parent and child. These reports are often described with a strange mix of awe and fear, as witnesses realize they might be looking at a family group of something not yet proven to exist. The adult Bigfoot is usually described as towering, 7 to 9 feet tall, covered in dark brown or black hair, moving powerfully yet quietly through the trees. The smaller one, said to stand around 3 to 5 feet tall, often clings close to the adult or mimics its behavior, walking upright but less gracefully, sometimes stumbling or crouching behind brush when noticed. A pretty accurate description of what's going on in this brand new Idaho video. But what do you guys think? Real footage of a mother Bigfoot and its young? Or is it simply too good to be true? Let me know in the comments down below. Here is another brand new Bigfoot video, and this one is very clear and close up. It was taken by a trail camera in Oklahoma, and it was posted on October 9th, 2025. Los Patrones, the group responsible for the strange video, describes their encounter in great detail. They state, "Tonight we went to retrieve our trail cameras we put up in the deep forest. But we never expected to find what we found that night. As we made our way, we came across scattered bones and remains of what appeared to be victims of some kind of giant predator. They recalled that as they walked on, they actually spotted a giant creature, a Bigfoot-like creature, that they believe is responsible for all the bones and such. They recalled the creature was huge, and it definitely looked like a Bigfoot. And they also said it looked to be carrying a baby. So they eventually made it to their trail camera and checked the footage. And they said what looked to be the same creature was caught, a huge Bigfoot-like creature. The trail camera was originally triggered by what looks to be a deer or some other animal in the foreground. Then, shortly after, it captured the upright, bipedal, Sasquatch-like creature. They slowed the footage down to give us the best look at it. It has a strong, powerful build, with defined muscles we can even see in the dark video. and its face appears monkey-like, a usual trait associated with these beings. It slowly walks, hunched down, remaining behind the trees until the footage cuts off. Just a crazy trail camera capture. Also, Oklahoma is known to be home to these kinds of creatures, with many Bigfoot sightings coming from the region each year. So many of the best Bigfoot sightings have come from Oklahoma, so could this be another one to add to the catalog? The uploaders are insisting that this is 100% real footage that could possibly be the best evidence yet. Speaking of Bigfoot trail camera evidence, here is some more. Now, people always talk about wanting up-close evidence of Bigfoot. Well, it seems like they got what they've wished for with this one, but this one might be a little too up close. Whatever this was, it was right up in the camera, preventing us from getting the best look at it. However, many researchers are adamant that this was indeed a Bigfoot caught on this trail camera this day. We see long, wiry brown hair. We also see the bottom of two large, sturdy legs. It looks like it definitely could be something bipedal, judging by the legs. It looks like something walks by and almost kicks the low-hanging trail camera. The camera was obviously positioned very low to the ground, maybe even on the ground. Now obviously there's not enough evidence to prove this was 100% a Bigfoot, so it remains up for debate. Could this just be an illusion and it's a known living creature, like a bear or something? It very well could be a brown bear. But cryptid enthusiasts aren't satisfied with this explanation. They say this thing just looks too Bigfoot-like, and the hair is too long and different than a typical bear's. I'm pretty torn with this one, and so are so many others. But it has been making the rounds on social media recently, so I figured I'd share it with you all and get your opinions, and get you guys involved with the debate as well. So let's continue this debate in the comments section. Bear, Bigfoot, or something else? Feel free to let me know. Coming at you with even more Bigfoot trail cam evidence. This one is some newer photographic evidence though. It was taken in Idaho last winter, somewhere in a remote, snow-covered forest. Though the capture is pretty clear, the story behind it is not. It remains a rather mysterious capture, baffling the internet. Take a look. Obviously, we know it was taken by a trail camera in Idaho, but that's virtually it. Who took the photo and such is unknown. But they do say pictures speak 1,000 words, and this one is definitely saying a lot. We see a dark, heavily muscled, primate-like creature, a Bigfoot-like creature, covered in snow. It has thick black hair, but its face is void of any hair, revealing its facial features. Its eyes are scrunched, its nose is poking out, and its mouth is huge. We can't tell if we can see its teeth or it has something in its mouth. Its overall look is downright chilling though. The fur caked with snow adds to the realism factor. It shows us this being has been out there for a while, and it's been hit with the brutal winter weather. It's a pretty realistic photo. Also, Idaho has one of the richer Bigfoot histories in the western United States. Reports of large, hairy, human-like creatures in Idaho go back decades, blending Native American legend, pioneer encounters, and modern eyewitness accounts. Tribes like the Shoshones spoke of mountain giants or hairy men who lived deep in the forest or mountains. These beings were said to be powerful, secretive, and sometimes dangerous, watching from the tree line or stealing food and fish. These old stories often line up eerily well with modern Bigfoot descriptions. By the 1950s and 60s, Idaho began to see an uptick in Bigfoot reports, often tied to logging and hunting communities. Remote areas like Clearwater and Bitterroot Mountains became hotspots. Hunters claimed to hear deep, chest-rattling howls echoing through the woods or found massive tracks near rivers or game trails. And since, modern-day sightings have skyrocketed, including this new trail cam photo here. This is the newest Bigfoot video on the internet, and only around 1,000 people have seen it, so it's very exclusive. The footage reportedly comes from deep in a Washington forest, and it was just released on October 17th, 2025. A hiker was out wandering around the foggy forest this day, when eventually he came across something he couldn't explain. He quickly filmed as a large, dark, upright silhouette was spotted amongst the fog. It was slowly walking away from him, most likely unknowing of his presence. It walks with a strange gait. It kind of kicks its legs out to the sides as it walks, and it looks pretty stiff. It slowly walks away and disappears into the fog. Viewers are saying that the creature probably came out of hiding because it thought it would be concealed by the fog, but this person was closer than it thought. In theory, a foggy day could be a perfect time for a Bigfoot to come out of hiding. Fog changes everything about the forest, how it looks, how it sounds, even how it smells. And all of that works in favor of a creature that wants to stay unseen. When fog rolls in, visibility drops dramatically. Shapes blur, shadows melt together, and movement becomes harder to pinpoint. A massive, dark figure could easily blend in with the mist-drenched trees, watching or moving just beyond clear sight. The thick air also muffles sound, so heavy footsteps or snapping branches might go unnoticed until they're frighteningly close. And Washington State has had plenty of Bigfoot sightings, even some recent ones, including this one now. What are we thinking here? Was there really a Bigfoot lurking in this deep, foggy forest this day? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now this here could be one of the clearest Bigfoot sightings ever. Even though the creature is seen hiding and it's partially obscured by the trees, the video footage itself is exceptionally clear in HD. It comes from Canada last winter in a dense, snowy forest. It was caught by an HD trail camera set up by the landowner. The landowner put up the camera because he was experiencing some strange things on his land. And it turns out his suspicions weren't just suspicions, they were reality. We see a tall, humanoid creature covered in dense, jet-black fur. It's hiding behind a tree, moving slightly. In the first shot, we can only see it from the shoulders up. Then in the second shot, we see its full body, giving us a look at how tall it really is. It's freakishly tall, too tall to be a human or anything else. It knocks the snow off the tree, maybe because it was angry or something. We don't know why exactly it did that, but it is an interesting act. It's said that Bigfoots are known to knock on trees and such. Maybe that's what it was doing here? But the creature itself looks pretty realistic, though skeptics aren't satisfied. Online critics suggest it's merely a hoax, someone in a well-done costume who set up their camera and made up this story. However, the uploader and landowner states that this is not the case at all, that he really captured this being on his trail camera and he doesn't know what it is. Also, it was taken in Canada, a very remote spot in Canada. And as you may know, this region is said to be one of the largest Bigfoot hotspots, so this could lend credibility to the sighting as well. Definitely an interesting and shocking piece of evidence. Evidence that could prove these creatures exist and that could be some of the clearest yet. Here are some newer, controversial captures of Bigfoot. They were taken on a trail camera in New York and they were released to the public on March 22nd, 2025. Though not many Bigfoot encounters have actually come from New York, a handful of good encounters have come from there. Sightings with very good photographic and videographic evidence, and this one here is one of those. The image-taking trail camera took a burst of 3 photos. The first one shows the so-called creature from the side. It looks like it's in the motion of turning around and walking away. This is the only shot where we get to see its face. Zooming in, it's void of hair, with dark black eyes, a large forehead, and other facial features similar to humans or primates. And the rest of its body is covered in thick, shaggy hair, a lighter color than typically seen on these creatures. Moving on to the second photo, we see its turn in the opposite direction now, and it's beginning to walk away. In this photo, we see some muscle definition in the calf area and in its triceps and shoulder. This type of muscle definition seen through the fur could indicate it's a real living creature, according to scientists. But now in the third photo, it's completely turned around, looking like it's going to retreat back into the brush. They're all pretty remarkable captures. Once again, skeptics state this could just be a costume or something, which, judging by the photos, we can't tell for sure, so it's still up in the air. But I'm just the messenger here. I always do my best to find the best, clearest, and new Bigfoot evidence, but sometimes that includes the more controversial captures like these. But most importantly, what do you guys think about these newer New York captures? Let's continue the debate in the comments. The following is a chilling Bigfoot encounter. This one comes from the Travel Channel. A man reached out to them with some videographic evidence, so they had him on their channel to talk about his evidence and his encounter. Here is his footage along with his story about what happened.
I just happened to look out and I seen the black figure standing in the woods. The more I looked at it, the more I realized that it was a lot bigger than a normal person would be. And I could see that it had like beady eyes. There were no white parts to the eye, and it wasn't blinking or anything. It was just staring me down.
Even though in the video we can't see this detail, he recalls it had dark, beady eyes that never blinked. He recalls the creature was just staring right at him, standing still. And even though the video is from far away and the creature is in a dark area, we still get a decent look at it. It's just watching him from the tree line of his backyard. He obviously wanted to keep his distance and didn't want to get any further to go check it out, so this is the best evidence he could safely get. The crazy thing about this is he states that this isn't the only time something like this had happened. Not only have things like this happened before, but they happen often. He states, quote, "They're very close to me at all times now. They show up right after the sun goes down. And then they leave right when the sun comes back up or shortly after," end quote. So this man claims he's being stalked by these creatures, whatever they are. He never discloses where he's located for privacy reasons. And it's unknown if he's looking to move or if he's just kind of made peace with his situation. And this isn't the first time people living in remote areas have reported activity like this. Many others have shared similar experiences of being stalked by these kinds of creatures. Now if this were me, I would probably move out eventually. I would like to have a few encounters with them just to see them, and then I'd be out. But anyways, hopefully this guy is staying safe out there. Coming back at you with some more clear photographic evidence. This is another newer and more mysterious capture, captivating the internet. It was taken in a remote and dimly lit section of forest, though the exact location remains unverified. In the photo, we see a large ape-like creature, a hairy bipedal creature. This one looks big and strong, with defined arm muscles and pectorals. Zooming in, we can see its midsection is less hairy. We can see its protruding stomach as well. The way we can see its skin and body shape tells us this likely isn't a costume. For decades, the mystery of Bigfoot has been built on shaky ground, grainy footage, anecdotal reports, and footprint casts. While these kinds of evidence spark curiosity and debate, none of them meet the strict standards for scientific verification. But a clear, high-resolution photograph or video showing undeniable details, musculature, facial features, movement, and context could change that completely. So could this photo here change everything? I wish the backstory wasn't so mysterious, but man, it's a good capture. Definitely one of the better photos you'll see. A husband and wife were out mountain climbing, something they love to do. But this time here was not like the rest. The husband stopped on a ledge at some point to gather himself and readjust his backpack, and his wife stopped too. And this is when his wife took out her phone and began recording because she wanted to film the amazing view. But quickly she saw something out of place. A dark, human-like shadow, but something about it didn't look human. It looked wrong almost, and they were in a spot where they wouldn't think any other people would be. She continues filming it as it walks along. Also, if it were a person, why is it wearing no gear? Why does it have no backpack or no items for survival? This was a very remote and rugged area, so this didn't make sense to them. From what she could see, she described the figure as dark, upright, and huge. The encounter was so shocking to them that when they returned home, the husband marked the encounter on a map. He circles 2 points and labels one BA and the other BFO. BA was their position on the cliff face, and BFO was where the figure was spotted and first appeared. Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Bigfoot Investigative Group is the one who released this footage. Take a look at the 300% enlarged version, giving us a slightly closer look. Now obviously the footage is taken from very far away, so we can't come to a complete conclusion about this one and about what they truly saw this day, but they know what they saw, and they claim it was none other than Bigfoot. Let's take a look at an alleged Bigfoot photo just taken on October 7th, 2025. The picture was highlighted again by Rocky Mountain Sasquatch, and again the backstory on this one remains rather classified. But it's believed to come from a trail camera. A lot of trail camera evidence in today's video. But there's one characteristic specifically that is telling investigators this one is real. Rocky Mountain Sasquatch points it out and states, quote, "Why do Sasquatch kick up their heels at a greater angle than humans when walking? Perhaps it's an adaptation to clear obstacles by pushing brush to the inside and reducing tripping. Maybe it's also efficient for traveling in deep snow," end quote. Aside from this, its other features are hard to miss. I mean, man, just look how huge its upper body is. It's an absolute beast. Now, I've always wanted to have an encounter with Bigfoot in the woods, but if I saw this thing in the woods, I'd run away quickly. This is definitely one I wouldn't want to encounter. An interesting photo, to say the least. Bigfoot footprints. They're some of the oldest and most mysterious clues in the ongoing search for this creature. From deep forest trails to muddy creek beds, strange tracks have appeared for decades, sparking endless debate. But here is one of the better examples of this kind of evidence. I found some old newspaper pictures of an article published by Lake Stevens Journal. The article talks about a man named Doug Trapp and his encounter with Bigfoot. The article was published on September 10th, 1980. It also shows photos of him with his Bigfoot footprints casts he made. Mr. Trapp was fishing on the Stillaguamish River this early September when he came across 3 strange footprints. Reportedly, the prints were measured at approximately 13.5 inches from heel to toe. 2 of the prints were said to be side by side, and the other one was 5 feet in the opposite direction. From his findings, he came to the conclusion from the slide marks and the directions of the prints that whatever made the prints was walking right towards the water. He believes it walks into the water, though no more prints were found. Are these oversized prints genuine evidence of an unknown creature roaming our wilderness, or just clever hoaxes meant to fool the curious? Considering they made the newspaper, and now that one of the footprint casts is owned by renowned Bigfoot researcher Dr. Jeff Meldrum, these ones do seem to be pretty justified. Let me know what you think. Kicking the video off with a crazy Bigfoot sighting. A group of people were on a scenic helicopter flight, flying over a very remote and secluded area. The exact location was unlisted, but they emphasized that the location was extremely remote and pretty much unmarked. They fly low over the wooded area, really taking in the beauty of the landscape, when suddenly their peaceful time was interrupted by a huge unknown creature. At first, they briefly caught sight of this creature, then they flew towards it to get a closer look. That's when one of the passengers took this video. A tall, primate-like being is running away. Its arms swing excessively as it runs, a common characteristic in Bigfoot sightings. We also can see its arms stretch out very long, down past its knees it seems. Whatever this was, it certainly looks like a Sasquatch, with its dark fur, body proportions, size, and long strides. And the spectators only got to witness this for a few seconds. They caught this quick clip and then it vanished into the thick trees, never to be seen again by them. Also, one of the most popular theories about these beings is that they hide out in remote, untapped environments, which makes this video seem more real. The core belief is that Bigfoot populations survive by living deep within areas of wilderness that humans rarely, if ever, access, like vast stretches of forests, mountain ranges, swamps, and valleys that remain largely unexplored. So did these innocent nature enthusiasts accidentally come across a Bigfoot this day? A Sasquatch-like creature hidden within this remote section of woods? Many are choosing to believe, but do you? Here is some amazing found footage of a Bigfoot or Yeti. It was originally taken on January 7th, 2003, according to the timestamp seen on the video, far before video effects like CGI and AI were ever introduced. Though it was taken long ago, it just surfaced the other day on October 13th, 2025. The caption reads, "Massive Yeti caught on camera near a remote mountain town." Here's the video. Once again, it says it was taken in a remote mountain town, but the location itself wasn't mentioned. Likely for the family's safety and the creature's safety. But anyways, a man was out working on his vast property this day, when out of nowhere he spotted this creature. He said it was almost blending in with the snow and he barely noticed it at first. But when he did, he got closer and closer and took a quick video on his old video camera to document what he was seeing, and to prove to the world that it was true. However, skeptics back then and nowadays are still unsatisfied, claiming it's just a hoax and the creature isn't a creature at all, rather just someone in a realistic costume. But believers point out its musculature, the way the fur hugs its frame. We seem to be able to see real working muscles through its fur, something that would be very hard to mimic in a prop or costume, especially for the time being. The Yeti, often called the Abominable Snowman, is one of the most famous cryptids in the world. A mysterious ape-like creature, said to inhabit the snowy, high-altitude regions of the Himalayan mountains. The story of the Yeti comes primarily from the Tibetan and Nepalese traditions. In the Himalayan cultures, the Yeti isn't just a monster. It's often considered a spiritual being or guardian of the mountains. In Sherpa folklore, the Yeti is known as Mato Kangmi, meaning roughly man-bear of the snow. Many local people believe the creature watches over sacred lands, sometimes punishing those who disrespect nature or trespass onto forbidden lands. These tales go back centuries, long before Western explorers even set foot on the Himalayas. So maybe this man really did have a run-in with the Yeti on his property. Definitely some interesting footage. This brand new Bigfoot video comes from Big Hill Pond State Park in Pocahontas, Tennessee. Unlike most of the Bigfoot videos we see nowadays, this one was taken accidentally. A man who works at the park was filming himself in an area where these kinds of Bigfoot sightings are prevalent. And he's even talking about Bigfoot in the video. He's just sitting there talking to the camera one-on-one, recalling the recent sightings and such, when something eerie is seen in the background.
What this is about. The threat is real in McNairy County. There have so far been 6 reportings. Nobody is paying attention to the signs. People are getting very close, reporting the smell of burnt tires and dog breath. Brother, that's Bigfoot, and he's coming. So far, we've looked around.
Just behind him in the tree line, we see a brown-haired, upright figure moving quickly by. It just walks by and we get a decent look at it. Could this just be a coincidence that as he's filming a video about Bigfoot, it just so happens that it shows up behind him? Or is this some kind of clever hoax for publicity? Or could this creature somehow sense it was being talked about, so it wanted to prove it was real and expose itself? Lots of questions are being asked with this one. And what's crazy is, the state of Tennessee doesn't only experience many Bigfoot-like sightings nowadays, but they have for centuries. The roots of Tennessee's Bigfoot lore reach back to the pioneer era. Early settlers and hunters moving through the dense Appalachian forests and Cumberland Plateau often spoke of large hair-covered wild men who lived deep in the wilderness. Some of the eeriest written mentions came from the 18th and 19th centuries, when travelers in East Tennessee described hearing strange screams and wood knocks echoing through the hills at night. So is this man telling the truth, and are there really Bigfoots running around in this state park? He's adamant that the encounter is all too real, but what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. On October 13th, 2025, some brand new Bigfoot footage was released. The caption reads, "Tourists capture a giant Bigfoot walking through the Amazon jungle." The video itself is very brief, but also very clear. Take a look.
Oh my God, do you see that? Wait, hold on.
I'm zooming.
Listen.
It's huge.
Keep the camera on it. Oh, it's moving. It's going deeper.
I got it.
On this sightseeing jungle tour, they eventually came across a dark, ape-like creature. But the way it walks, its upright posture, and overall look tells us it's not an ape or any kind of primate we know of. This is something entirely different, something not yet discovered by science. The tourists are shocked as they drive past this, not knowing if it's some kind of animal hybrid or a true cryptid creature. I'm also bringing this to your attention because Bigfoot-like reports in the Amazon jungle are some of the most mysterious and least known in the world. While the Pacific Northwest, Himalayas, and Siberia tend to dominate Bigfoot discussions, South America, especially the Amazon basin, has its own long, eerie history of large, hair-covered humanoid encounters, deeply rooted in both native traditions and modern reports. Like a lot of other Bigfoot lore, long before explorers reached South America, many indigenous Amazonian tribes spoke of large, ape-like beings in the forest. Names vary by region and tribe, but a few stand out, particularly the Mapingahari. The Mapingahari is the most famous Amazonian Bigfoot-type creature. Described as a towering, foul-smelling man-beast covered in long red or brown hair. Some legends say it has a single eye and a gaping mouth on its stomach. Others describe it more like a massive prehistoric ground sloth or a wild man of the forest. In modern times, the 20th and 21st century, explorers, biologists, and jungle guides have occasionally reported hearing unearthly howls or finding massive footprints in remote Amazon areas of Brazil, Peru, and Bolivia. And now we have this brand new video to add to the collection. Also, the Amazon is huge, remote, and rugged, with lots of jungle and unmarked land, making it a perfect spot for these creatures to hide out. The Dyatlov Pass is one of the most chilling and mysterious cases of the 20th century. It happened in February 1959, deep in the Ural Mountains of Russia, when 9 experienced hikers from the Ural Polytechnic Institute set out on a winter expedition, and they never made it back alive. When rescuers finally discovered their campsite, they found their tent had been cut open from the inside, as if the group had fled in panic into freezing night without proper clothing or gear. Over the next few weeks, search teams uncovered their bodies scattered across the snow. Some died of hypothermia, but others had severe and unexplained injuries. Crushed ribs, fractured skulls, and one woman missing her tongue and eyes. Theories swirled immediately: avalanche, secret military tests, psychological breakdown, or something far stranger. Among the more mysterious speculations was the idea that the hikers had encountered a yeti, or some kind of Bigfoot-like creature that roamed the snowy wilderness. This theory gained traction when rescuers reported finding large, unidentified footprints near the camp that didn't match any of the hikers' boots. Soviet investigators even briefly mentioned a snowman in early reports before removing the reference. Over the years, this fueled the belief that something massive, intelligent, and possibly territorial had frightened the group into fleeing for their lives. And not only this, but an actual photo taken by one of the explorers seemed to capture an unidentified creature, a humanoid figure that certainly looks Bigfoot-like. This here is the photo. Skeptics argue there's no solid proof of such a creature, suggesting that natural explanations like disorientation, infrasound-induced panic, or even a small avalanche make more sense. Still, the Yeti angle refuses to die. It ties into the deep folklore of the region where tales of wild, man-like beings have circulated for generations. In the end, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains a haunting mystery, a story where nature, fear, and the unknown blend together. And for many, the idea that something not entirely human might have been out there in that frozen darkness still feels eerily possible. In the quiet French town of Bourganeuf, deep in the green hills of the Creuse region, an odd local legend was born in the 1990s. Word spread that a mysterious, hair-covered humanoid body was discovered, and it was placed on display at a rural fair. The creature was supposedly preserved in ice, and it was eerily lifelike. And it was also listed as towering over 6 feet tall. People began calling it Le Yeti de Bourganeuf, the Yeti of Bourganeuf. It was said to resemble a prehistoric man or some kind of frozen ape man, its features twisted as if caught mid-roar before death. The photographs that circulated online and in small magazines show what appears to be a large, hairy figure lying on its back, with its body half encased in frost or ice, similar to a taxidermy exhibit. The face looks human-like but distorted, broad nose, heavy brow ridge, open mouth with visible teeth, and its skin has a leathery grayish tone, the color of aged hide or frozen meat. Long reddish-brown hair covers the limbs and torso unevenly, looking coarse and matted, almost like animal fur glued onto the surface. The hands and feet are large and thick, with human-like fingers curled stiffly, and a faint trace of ice crystals on the surface, giving it a hauntingly realistic look under cold light. The Yeti de Bourganeuf gained attention because it closely mirrored an earlier infamous case. The Minnesota Iceman from the United States, another supposed frozen Bigfoot shown at slideshows in the 1960s. Though the photos were originally released in the 1990s, they've been making the rounds again, so I figured I'd share it with you all and get your opinions and just see what you thought. Because now it's sparking even more debate. Is this the real body of some kind of Sasquatch-like creature? Or is it a very good sculpture? It still remains a mystery to this day, baffling anybody who learns about it, and we may never learn the full truth. So many of you guys know about artificial intelligence. AI is practically taking over the world nowadays, from funny viral videos, to AI voiceovers, to research, and so much more. Some are saying that AI is going too far and getting too realistic. But there are a lot of good things that have been coming from these technological advances, like the ability to bring photos to life. Well, the other day I was scrolling through social media on my phone and an interesting video popped up. It was a compilation someone had made of some of the most viral Bigfoot pictures ever. They took the photos and ran them through an AI software and turned the photos into videos. Live, realistic representations of what the photographer likely would have seen in the moment. Now obviously, these videos are not real themselves. They just simply took the infamous photos and essentially brought them to life. I thought this was such an interesting idea, finally giving us a glimpse at what these photos that most of you have probably seen before would look like if they had been videos instead. I feel like this is definitely one of the more interesting and unique segments I've done here on my channel. Let me know what you guys think about this one, and what do you think of AI as a whole? Is AI going too far, and is it eventually going to turn out bad for us humans? Are we going too far with technology, and is it going to come back to haunt us? The following is a very mysterious Bigfoot photo. All we know is a man was driving down a remote forested road, a dirt path surrounded by thick trees for miles. As he drove along the path, he came across a Bigfoot-like creature just standing there in the middle of the path, not moving. This is the photo that was snapped of the alleged incident. It is kind of blurry, but we can still make out a humanoid figure standing there motionless. It's an upright, tall, dark figure, appearing to be covered in hair. It has a strange bend in its knees, a look we don't really recognize. A characteristic that may set it apart from a human in a costume. Now, like I said, the image is pretty blurry, so we can't tell for sure what it is. And also, with the little background information provided, it's hard to confirm everything. The photo itself is pretty good though, and it's currently being talked about on social media, so I figured I'd show you guys despite the controversy. So what do you think? Now, this segment here doesn't have any direct photographic or videographic evidence, but the new encounter itself is so compelling that I had to tell you all. The story goes like this. In late May of 2025, a father and his 12-year-old son were out bow fishing in the wetlands near Plum Creek, a quiet stretch of woods and marshland in Monroe County, Michigan. It was the kind of place where you can go for miles without seeing another person, just tall grass, still water, and dense tree lines. As they fished along the water's edge, their dog suddenly took off into the brush, barking wildly. Moments later, a deep thud echoed through the trees, as if something heavy had struck a trunk or landed from above. Both of them froze. Then, through the tangle of branches, they caught sight of movement, something large, upright, and dark, slipping between the trees. The creature, according to the father, wasn't shaped like a man or a bear. It was broader in the shoulders, covered in dark hair, and moved smoothly but powerfully, keeping to the thicker growth as if trying not to be seen. The son reportedly stood speechless, while the father tried to process what he was looking at. Within seconds, the figure was gone, swallowed by the woods as quickly as it appeared. Shaken, the pair returned home and later filed a report with the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, or the BFRO. Investigators interviewed the father and son separately to test their consistency. Both told nearly identical versions of the encounter, describing the same sounds, the same movements, and the same towering silhouette. The BFRO ultimately listed the sighting as credible, noting that the witnesses seemed sincere and that the environment matched many previous Bigfoot reports, remote, wooded, and rich with wildlife. A pretty interesting story. Let me know what you all think. And real quick, before this video starts, I just released some of the best Bigfoot merchandise of all time. From coffee mugs to stickers to all the clothing you could imagine. I present to you I Found Bigfoot. Everything comes in many different colors and sizes, so it's perfect for everyone. So if you love all things Bigfoot and you love what I do here on YouTube and want to support me, go ahead and grab some exclusive merchandise just in time for spooky season. All you have to do is scroll down below this video and you'll see my showcase of products and you can purchase them from there. Or you could simply visit the store from my YouTube homepage. Or you can simply visit maximumfear.myspreadshop.com. That's maximumfear.myspreadshop.com. Thank you very much, and back to the video. Today's nature clip shows one of my favorite animals, but one of the scariest animals on the entire planet. It was just posted to Instagram on September 14th, 2025. A man was driving down the road when something slithered out in front of him and blocked his path. A king cobra. The king cobra is one of the most fascinating and feared snakes on the planet. It's not just the world's longest venomous snake, but also one of the most intelligent and complex reptiles known to science. Found mainly in forests and jungles of Southeast Asia and India, the king cobra can grow over 13 feet, with some reaching more than 18 feet. Despite its size, it moves with incredible grace and precision, able to lift a third of its body off the ground when threatened, rising tall enough to look a full-grown human in the eye. In the video here, it does that slightly for a second. But king cobras are highly alert and cautious, not an aggressive killer by nature. But when cornered or protecting its territory, it becomes a formidable predator. A single bite can deliver enough venom to kill an elephant or 20 adult humans. The king cobra's venom isn't the most potent among snakes, but the sheer volume it injects with is exceptionally dangerous. So I hope you all found this segment as fascinating as I did. I also hope you enjoyed all the other clips and today's video as a whole. This brand new crazy video was just taken on October 24th, 2025. A man named Isaac Spots, a wildlife photographer, is the one who took this video, and this is what he has to say about it.
Have you ever heard the sound of an elk bugle? It's one of the most haunting sounds that nature has to offer. I just filmed one from about 30 yards away, bugling directly at me and my camera. It was a pretty intense moment that I wanted to share with you guys.
An elk's bugle is one of the most haunting and powerful sounds in the wild, a chilling mix of beauty, aggression, and raw wilderness energy. In simple terms, it's a high-pitched whistling scream that slides down into deep grunts or barks. But there's so much more going on than just noise. It's communication, dominance, and emotion rolled into one sound. Here's his video. It's just such an otherworldly sound. One of the strangest sounds coming from nature. The opening part, that haunting upward wail, can carry for miles through mountains and valleys. It's so distinct that many say it sounds like a blend between a wolf's howl, a whistle, and a shriek. They mostly make these sounds during the rut, the fall mating season. Each bull has its own vocal signature. Older, larger elk tend to have lower, deeper bugles, while younger ones sound more high-pitched and frantic. Witnesses say that when you're close to it, an elk bugle doesn't just hit your ears, you feel it. The sound vibrates through the air, echoing off the ridges and pine trunks. It can make the hair on the back of your neck stand up. So if you ever hear something like this in the wild, it is likely just an elk. But elks are huge, powerful predators too, which can be just as scary as unknown creatures. So if you ever hear this eerie sound in the wild, run away as quick as you can. Now we've talked about Bigfoot a lot this video, and as you may know, I like to end my videos off with a nature or wildlife clip to kind of change things up a little bit and end on a different note. Well, if you like Bigfoot, it's probably because he's elusive, rare, and rather intriguing. Well, what this man caught on camera this day is all of those things. Check it out. This is definitely a very rare animal. It's either an albino or a leucistic moose. According to the internet, albino or leucistic moose are extremely rare, among the rarest color variations seen in large mammals. True albino moose are almost unheard of. Only a few confirmed cases have ever been documented in North America. Albinism occurs in roughly 1 in 100,000 to 1 in 1 million animals, depending on the species. Lucistic moose, which have white fur but normal colored eyes and skin, which kind of looks like the one here, are slightly more common, but still exceptionally rare. Most estimates suggest maybe a few dozen known individuals have been spotted across Canada, Alaska, and parts of Scandinavia over the past century. Lucistic moose have gained local fame in some regions, for example, the so-called spirit moose or ghost moose, seen in Ontario and Newfoundland, are often leucistic. These animals are considered sacred by many indigenous communities and are sometimes protected from hunting because of their rarity and symbolic meaning. So I thought this was a pretty good wildlife clip that kind of ties into today's topic. Let me know what you guys thought of today's nature clip and today's video as a whole, and more videos just like this coming soon. Alright, I think that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did enjoy, go ahead and smash the like button's mom. Let's aim for 5,000 likes for another one of these trail camera videos. And if you want to get to know me more, you want to see more of my spooky content, you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Maxwell Fear, or you can go ahead and follow me on TikTok, Maximum Fear YT. And be sure to subscribe to the channel, because only 20% of you guys who watch my videos are subscribed. And be sure to hit that bell as well so you don't miss when I upload. And also feel free to check out my special Maximum Fear merchandise and coffee mugs. They're in the description down below. And shout out to my second channel, More Maximum Fear, where I post other scary content that you guys would definitely love. Alright, I hope your fear was maximized. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.